Welcome, Elaine, back to the Zoom room.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, I'm back.
So let's jump straight into the daily quote, a bit of teaching around that. I'll send you an email and Telegram, and we'll also have a look at the lesson, another review. And that will lead us into our text reading for today, which is a fairly short one, 6 paragraphs. So just give me a moment to...
Yeah, that's good.
Get the live stream going. People, so I'll share my screen and we'll jump into it. All right, so I'll share my screen with you. Okay, so if you can read that, dear, you know what? Okay, maybe not. Sorry, Google Chrome just collapsed. So it seems to be doing this quite a bit. So let's do Gmail. Yeah, can you see that?
Yes. Though we are incomplete, God loves us completely. Though we are imperfect, He loves us perfectly. Though we may feel lost and without compass, God's love encompasses completely. He loves every one of us, even those who are flawed, rejected, awkward, sorrowful, or broken.
Yeah, so that lovely quote by a German aviator and religious leader, speaking of the love of God that heals all flaws, rejection, awkwardness, sorrow, and brokenness, because the truth is that all these imperfections aren't real. In truth, you are pure formless awareness of perfect, unconditional love. And so this is a love that just is. Makes sense when you think of it as an awareness. You know, it's just pure formless awareness of perfect oneness, because that awareness has no judgment. That awareness just is. And so this is where, you know, the idea of unconditional love comes from, because it just is. And that awareness just is the essence of everyone. You know, that awareness has no judgment of anyone or anything. So if we think of it in those terms, then unconditional love makes perfect sense, doesn't it? If you think of God as an entity separate from his creations, then judgment is always possible, because apparently his creations are split from him and they do all kinds of crazy stuff. And so with that conception of God, then you can see why a lot of these religions have a judgmental God, because they go, well, how could God, if God really is some kind of parent figure, approve of all the, the crazy stuff that his children are doing? And we relate it to our human experience of being, a father or a mother, is not going to approve of their son or daughter doing crazy stuff. Whereas, if you conceive of God correctly as just pure formless awareness of perfect love, then it's completely understandable that is unconditional love, because it simply is an awareness. It's an awareness which knows nothing else. There is nothing else in that awareness. So it can't judge. It's not possible for that awareness to judge. Do you see? Which is why, God is unconditional love.
Mm.
So it's helpful to think of it in our terms of pure formless awareness of perfect love, because then things like unconditional love, ideas like unconditional love make more sense than if you conceive of God as some kind of entity or super being that's separate from his creations, then judgment always becomes possible.
Mm.
So as one of today's workbook lessons for review states, this is the original form of it. I'm going to read that.
There is no love but God's.
Yeah, so there is no love but God's, or no love but perfect loves. Right? The only kind of love that is true and real is this pure formless awareness of perfect love, what we call God. Every other form of love, we have many forms here. Special love for a person, for objects, cars, as you know, and whatever else is not love.
No.
And that's the simple message of the Course. It's not worthy of the name love. It's a substitute for love. So it's actually the opposite for love.
Yeah.
Why is there no love but God's? Because divine love is pure formless awareness. Right? In its original state, before the universe of time and space came into seeming existence. So it is primordial reality. That which came before, that which is the ground of being, the timeless essence, whatever you want to call it. It's that which underlies this physical universe of time and space. That is always there. It's the eternal awareness, the base state, the ground of being, fundamental reality, whatever you want to call it, that pre-existed time and space and is still there because it's eternal. But now time and space seem to have covered over that base state. And so that's the veil of illusion that we see around us. They've covered over this ground of being so that we're not aware of it. And what we become aware of then is this so-called reality that's been shown to us by our physical senses, which seems to confirm that separation is the truth rather than unity. So it's a covering over, a veil of illusion over this ground of being. And divine love is just the ground of being. It's another word for it. The divine love's meaning cannot be derived from an analysis of human existence. Right? You can't find it in analyzing the ups and the downs and the various things that go on in the average human life. Because it's beyond that. It's before and beyond human life, human existence. Meaning comes from beyond the dilemma of human existence, which was expressed so poetically by Shakespeare's character Hamlet in the play Hamlet. You want to read that?
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them.
To be or not to be, that is the question. And then Shakespeare poses the question, do we suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or do we take arms against the sea of troubles and by opposing end them? So what he's talking about in the second option is to oppose the troubles, and you can't fight them, but the correct way of opposing them is to deny them. Deny the sea of troubles is real. That's what he's hinting at. Anyway, that's the way I interpret it. We don't know exactly what he meant because he's not around to tell us. But by opposing, end them. So saying you can actually end your troubles if you oppose them. So do you just suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune in this world, or do you say, no, I'm done with this world. I oppose these troubles. They're not true. They're not real. And so I end them. And so he's hinting at this idea of enlightenment, letting go of all your troubles and finding a transcendent state in that second option. But this is the dilemma of human existence, right? So the seeming dilemma is really human existence itself, to be or not to be. Do you be human or not? And maybe there's another form of being that's higher. When you say to be, what does that really mean? To be or not to be? To be or not to be human? To be or not to be who we really are, divine? And actually there's a choice we have to make. If we choose to be human, then we deny that we are divine. If we choose to be divine, we must deny that we are human. So we ask ourselves the question, is human life real and meaningful? From within a thought system that seeks to prove that it is, we're bound to receive the answer that we set out to find. It's logical. Okay, if that's what you want to find, then that's what you will find. If the thought system wants to prove that it is, then you seek for proof and you'll find evidence that it's real. Well, we have a body, we have seeming lives here. This world seems to be real. There's all of recorded history to support the fact that there's been many human lives, and this world is real. So you see the evidence because that's what you want to see. But does this really answer? Does this answer really satisfy us? Will there always be some lingering doubt? If we haven't been totally honest in asking the right questions until we actually ask these questions. Right. So most people don't really consider, is human life real? Is this actually reality? They just assume it is. So as Yeshua points out in the introduction to the clarification of terms in A Course in Miracles. You want to read that quote?
The ego will demand many answers that this course does not give. It does not recognize as questions the mere form of a question to which an answer is impossible. The ego may ask, how did the impossible occur? To what did the impossible happen? And may ask this in many forms, yet there is no answer, only an experience. Seek only this and do not let theology delay you.
Yeah, so we've looked at this before, I think, in one of the sessions you were in. So the ego asks, well, how did this all happen? How did the impossible happen? How did separation happen? What did the impossible happen? And it might ask it in many forms. But there is no logical answer, only an experience. As it says, seek only this and do not let theology delay you. So if you seek an experience, and there's an experience that's transcendent, of pure formless awareness, of perfect love, then experientially, you know the answer. Okay, there is actually just this state, and that's completely free of any idea of separation. So, he's saying don't get caught up in these metaphysical musings. Well, how did the impossible happen? Because what you're doing by asking the question is assuming that the impossible did happen, aren't you? You see how cunning the ego is.
Mm-hmm.
How did the impossible happen? Well, the question assumes it did happen. And of course, this teaching is saying, well, it didn't really happen. So don't ask a question that gives an answer that the ego wants. Don't ask these questions. Rather seek experience.
Mm-hmm.
Just experience, the truth. So the Buddha was quite wise in many ways, because when people asked him metaphysical questions like this, he wouldn't answer. He'd say, this is what his only answer was. He said, if someone shoots an arrow into you, he taught it by means of a story. If someone shoots an arrow into your side, are you going to ask what the origin of the arrow is? Like where it came, who made it, how old the arrow is, who the owner of the arrow was? No. What are you going to do? You're just going to take it out as quickly as possible. So that was his answer. He said, just remove the suffering, remove the craving, the desire, and that removes the suffering, and you don't have to worry about the origin. So his method was very practical, saying just let go of the desire, and that will be the end of your suffering, and then it doesn't matter. These kinds of metaphysical questions don't matter. You don't get caught up in them. In the Course, Yeshua gives us the metaphysics, but again, he's saying don't get too caught up in theology of it, because you can get very caught up in intellectual, trying to understand it intellectually, and you won't, because it doesn't make sense. How can the impossible have happened? Well, logically, your mind goes like, I can't make sense of that because it seems to have happened. But then another part of my mind saying it didn't happen. Okay, well, now I have a fundamental contradiction. It seems to have happened. I'm living in this world. It seems to be all very real, and yet the logic is telling me, no, this didn't really happen. And you're going to struggle to reconcile that. In fact, that's almost impossible. So you seek an experience. If you seek a transcendent experience, love, peace, joy, happiness, and you experience this deep state of pure formless awareness, then experientially that there is something there, something beyond the ego. And no one needs to tell you that. It's not theological, it's not intellectual anymore, it's experiential. You've actually experienced that which is beyond time and space and beyond all questions. And then there's no more questioning, then you know. Okay, so any questions on that?
No, that's clear.
For instance, we may ask whether another human being loves us. Okay, so that's one of the questions the ego likes to ask. But this is a question asked from an extremely limited human perspective. Right? So it's framed in the parenthesis between birth and death. We call it human lifetime, always subject to the fundamental law of time, which is that all things must end. Okay, so these relationships with other human beings, Yeshua calls special relationships in the Course in Miracles, because they assume that both you and the other person are ontologically real. That means, okay, you have fundamental existence. And then they try to find the answer to this question within the ego's framework of so-called reality that the assumption miscreates. Okay, so the special relationship is designed to put you into this world, into this so-called reality based on the idea of separation, and then try and make that work by finding special love in the partner and looking for it elsewhere as well. By asking assumptive questions that dictate a certain answer, our ego, which remember is nothing more than our belief in separation and a separate self, seeks to justify and perpetuate its existence in our minds. Far better approach would be to question assumptions themselves. So in the previous example, instead of asking whether another person really loves us, ask yourself if there really is another person that's separate from you to love. It's a better question, see? Is that person really real? Is there really another person there? Or is that just part of the illusion? And if the truth is true and only perfect oneness is true, then they are exactly the same as me. There is no difference. Yeah? So this line of questioning will ultimately take you beyond the subject-object dualistic perception that characterizes this world into acceptance that there is in truth only one reality, love of God, you want to call it that, or presence or ground of being, you can use whichever term you prefer, in which we are all united with every seeming other person and living creature, seemingly living in this physical universe. So, seem to be all united. Within this presence, within this love. So you start to see, the more you look at the logic, the logic and your experience take you into this one reality we call the love of God. And all mystic experiences throughout the ages have taken people into this oneness, this one reality. So one has to then conclude that it must be there. It's real. It's true. The logic takes you there. The experience takes you there. Okay, well that must be the destination. That must be the foundational reality then that we've been missing. So that brings us into our session. Any thoughts on any of that, Elaine? I mean, it's all fairly straightforward, but
yes, just reinforcing it. Yes.
And I think the key point is don't get caught in theological considerations. Some people can, why did them, how, I just can't get my head around how the impossible happened.
Yes, we all do that at some stage.
Because that's just the ego mind trying to create, a block.
It is, yeah. No, I get caught up in that one. Yes.
Well, how did it happen, and why did it happen? And I might ask it in many. And the key thing is don't get caught up in that. Just say, well, let me go for the experience that shows me that it never happened. That's the mystic experience. When you go into pure formless awareness of perfect love, and there's no other experience, you're left in no doubt that experience is the ultimate truth, and everything else then it pales into insignificance beside it. So experientially, you come to know this truth, and he's saying that's the way. So you don't get caught up in the intellectually trying to make sense of what doesn't make sense, because it's a complete paradox on the intellectual level. Okay, well, it seems to have happened, and we have a whole world based on that seeming reality, and yet it didn't happen. Now the intellect is going to really struggle with that, because the intellect is very dualistic and linear. So the intellect goes, well, how's that possible when I'm experiencing it? But the mystic side of you, the experiential side, it can just go into an experience that transcends this world and experience it there. Oh yeah, well, that's a beautiful experience, and that's the experience that I want. So I'm not really concerned about the metaphysics and the theory. I just want that experience, and I can have it if I let everything go and open my mind to it. Then that's what I will have. And then what happens on the level of form comes from that. It flows from that awareness. So I think the key point is just don't get caught up in intellectualization. Go for the experience of
Yeah.
divine love, of pure formless awareness of perfect love in you, and then in your relationships. So you extend that love outwards from your mind to others, and in that extension, we feel the joining. Then we actually experience the oneness he's talking about, rather than it just being intellectual theory. Okay. So, any questions, comments on that? Otherwise, we'll go into our lesson.
No, that was very clear.
Okay.
I think, we all keep questioning and driving ourselves mad when there's never going to be an answer. So it's quite right. It's best
not
just
on that level. You'll never find an answer on the level of
drive
the
you mad.
ego's.
Yeah.
You see, it's an assumption that the ego's made, and then from within that assumption, okay, separation is real. It seems completely contradictory and paradoxical to say it's not true. So at the top level of it, let's just have a quick look at our diagram again, just to. So we're going to. Where are we? Center to whole. So once that tiny mad idea has taken root and we believe in it, now that idea seems to be the foundation of a reality. And then we go down this whole track and we end up as victims, living helpless, innovative little lives in this world, seeming victims of this cruel external world, which we've made up. But the fundamental idea of separation that has led to all of this is false. So then everything that comes from that idea must also be false. That's the teaching. So from within that idea, you say, well, how could this impossible thing have happened? Even from within this thought system, it seems like, but this idea is everywhere. This idea is reality. This is how the world works, which is, of course, what the ego wants you to believe. So from within the thought system, it's very difficult to question it and say, no, it's not real, because it seems to be real. It seems to be everywhere. And as Morpheus said in the Matrix is all around you. It's in the room you see. It's in the social structures. You see the taxes you pay when you go to church, when you go to work, when you pay your taxes. There's the matrix. So it seems everywhere. It's all pervasive, because this idea was an idea that we chose to believe fully. We said, okay, we now accept the idea of separation as our foundation and our basis, and we're going to forget oneness. And so, from that idea now accepted into the mind, all of this stuff gets miscreated. That makes sense.
Yes.
All right, so let's have a look at the lesson then. Okay, so lesson 144 we're on to, which is another review lesson. Can you read that okay? Just
my mind.
Yes.
Yep. My mind holds only what I think with God. Pure formless awareness of perfect love. There is no love.
Say it as my mind holds only what I think with pure formless awareness of perfect love.
Oh, yeah. My mind holds only what I think.
Alternative on the slide, so just in brackets.
Yeah. My mind holds only what I think with pure formless awareness of perfect love. There is no love but God's. There is no love but pure formless awareness of perfect love. The world I see holds nothing that I want.
Okay, so any thoughts on those ideas?
Well, yeah, it relates to me. I like the world I see holds nothing I want, yeah. And there's no love but God's, yeah. Very good lessons. Practice. Yeah, let it sink in.
That foundational piece, the pure formless awareness of perfect love, that state of mind is the only thing that is called, that we can say is love. Everything else that we think of as love in this world is a covering over that. It's actually a denial of that state. That's the simple but quite radical teaching of this course. So whatever you think is love in this world, you love another person, you love an object, you love substances, we love shopping, we have all kinds of things. But those are just attachments to illusions that are designed by the ego to cover over pure formless awareness of perfect love, or the love of God. So that we're not aware of that. And now we have these substitutes for love going on, which then confirm that we must be a separate self that needs and wants and desires these things. And if we don't get them, then we feel aggrieved, we feel hardly done by, that we've lost something. And all of those thoughts and emotions characterize this state of being a separate self. And the ego just wants to maintain that state in your mind and not go to pure formless awareness of perfect love, because it knows that all of those thoughts and ideas and the self-concept will be obliterated in pure formless awareness of perfect love. They're going to be completely undone. And this, your true identity will come forth. And then as a corollary to that, in order to know that only pure formless awareness of perfect love is love, you must deny what the world seems to offer you. The world I see with my eyes holds nothing that I want. It's quite an all-encompassing statement. Okay, so nothing here, being given that it's all a projection of separation, nothing here is worth wanting, desiring, because it's, if I want it and I desire it, then I desire separation. I must be separate in order to have it. So why would I want separation when it offers me nothing in truth? It offers me a lot of pain, suffering, misery, sickness, death, very temporary rewards, perhaps. It's okay, temporary satisfaction. You can have a special relationship. You can buy stuff. You can acquire possessions. You can have experiences here. But none of that will satisfy you eternally. How can it? It was not made by the eternal. Only what comes from the eternal can satisfy you eternally. Okay, so that makes sense. You see the connection between the ideas. To know pure formless awareness of perfect love, you must let go of everything you want in this world. If you desire these things, then you deny pure formless awareness of perfect love. So you're denying the love of God and you're accepting some other form of love. It's the love for whatever you desire. And it's only in letting go of all desire that we come into an awareness of who we really are. Just pure formless awareness of perfect love. Okay, any other thoughts on that? Comments, questions, insights?
Well, yeah, it's just letting it go, really sink deep to arrive at it, the experience.
Yeah. And the way to access, he's telling us, the way to access this state and know experientially that only the love of God is real in your own experience, that's knowledge, is that you must let go of everything you think you want in the world. The world I see holds nothing that I want. That's quite all-encompassing. Absolutely nothing. Not your special relationships you cherish so much, not the activities you like, the experiences you seem to like, none of it.
But you can still appreciate them though, can't you? Like, obviously, a nice sunset. Obviously, as you know, I'm like my pets and so forth. You can still appreciate them though, can't you? But not attach yourself to
There's a
them.
difference in wanting and appreciating, isn't there?
Yes.
So from a place of, if you're rooted in this awareness, a deeper awareness, there's a deeper peace, foundational happiness, they call it. You now perceive everything in this world from that state. You're no longer wanting or needing things. You see, what we're trying to undo here is needing to get some kind of higher state. The ego tells you, in order to be happy, you need something external to you to happen. That's it. That's its delusion. So he's trying to unprogram that in us. No, actually, I want and I need nothing here. To help us to let go of that craving, that desire, which causes expectation, which inevitably causes us grievances because our expectations are not always met, and that cover all that movement of mind and emotion covers over the truth of pure formless awareness of perfect love. So he wants us to let that all go and just understand that the world really does offer us nothing that I want, nothing that I truly need. I need only the spirit. Now, from that corrected state, okay, I'm in my true awareness. I'm flowing with that. I'm not needing anything. Well, yeah, I'm in the moment, in the now. I see a nice sunset. I appreciate it. So I'm bringing my essence into everything. See, I'm infusing the truth into all of my experiences, because that's how perception works. It's not outside in. It's actually coming from this deeper truth. So if we look at this, when our mind is corrected and healed, we have a connection with our source, and that's our transformed beliefs and our thoughts and our emotions and our perceptions come from one or the other thought systems. Either going to be the ego's idea of separation, which manifests as desires, or just the prayer of the heart, which is communion with this divine love, just being in that presence, that higher awareness, and then that shines through. So the beliefs, thoughts, and emotions that you have from that foundation are very different, and so now it shines through into your perception, and so you appreciate whatever more because you're appreciating it from this divine perspective. You're not seeking anything from the external. That's really the key. Whereas the ego is telling you, well, your beliefs, your emotions, thoughts, beliefs, and your inner state is the product of the outside world. So you're seeking then to find some kind of satisfaction, fulfillment for this, disaster you've created within this disastrous thought system you've created, the separate self from outside. And that's why, these lessons are so much about letting go of the outside world, saying, the world I see holds nothing that I want, because it's to stop that program. So inside out perception versus outside in. Then true gratitude brings your awareness into everything. Well, yes, I perceive the life essence in everything. So I see a beautiful sunset, I see a kitten, these are the things. It's the same life, it's the one life. And I am that life, and I'm feeling it, and I'm connecting with it. And so then you have this, unity consciousness experience. Like, I'm not separate from what I'm perceiving. I'm one with it. And it's all the more beautiful for that. Far more beautiful than anything the ego can conjure. All the ego goes, oh, a nice sunset outside of me. Okay. And then, the sunset fades and it's gone in half an hour, and then it's dark. And it doesn't last, does it?
No.
So whereas this inner awareness is always there. It's not reliant on anything changing. So the sunset goes, you still have that inner feeling, you still feel connected to your source, you still feel grateful. Now it's dark. So but you're not relying on the external to give you any kind of internal experience. That's really the key to this. That makes sense. So you can appreciate it without desire. That's really the art of it, isn't it? Without attachment, without desire. Okay, I'm in the moment. I'm connected to my true awareness. And that awareness extends into and infuses everything I perceive. So everything becomes, more beautiful because I'm in the state. And it's beautiful not because of the form of it, but it's beautiful because of the inner state that is infusing it with that beauty. And when you see the light in things, it's because you are in that light already. And then your perception becomes infused with that light of your true awareness. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so shall we do a meditation on?
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right, so making yourself comfortable. What's your favorite meditation posture? Sitting feet shoulder width apart, back straight, cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Breathing in. Noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. The subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of the inhale. Smile. Scan your mind. So noticing thoughts, emotions, body sensations going on. Particularly anything that feels at all negative, limiting, contracted, constricting in any way, shape, or form. And you just bring in today's lessons. So my mind holds only what I think with God, or pure formless awareness of perfect love. Breathe in that presence, this awareness into every pore, every cell of your body, every part of your mind is infused with this fundamental awareness, pure formless awareness of perfect love, fundamental awareness. And just in this fundamental awareness, reminding yourself that the world I see holds nothing that I want. Breathe in again. So bring up whatever perceptions you had that triggered you, perceiving a situation, a relationship, something, something outside of you in a certain way. And really, that way is incorrect. The world you see holds nothing that you want. None of it has any meaning. None of it has any real purpose. It's just designed to cover over the truth of pure formless awareness of perfect love. And you exhale, and have a sense of releasing as you exhale any dark thoughts, energy, emotions. Just use the breath to help you let them go, blowing it all away. It's dark clouds. Visualize dark clouds or black smoke leaving you as you exhale fully. Full maximal inhale breath. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out and negativity out. And you just blow it all away and rest in this deep peace and stillness. Nothing else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. For a few minutes, you just rest in this love of God, as Yeshua says in the quote we looked at earlier from the text, that there is no answer to the questions of the ego, like why did this happen? How did the impossible happen? Why did it happen? And so on. Just seek an experience. This is only an experience. Seek only this and do not let theology delay you. So you just surrender into the stillness, into the peace. Called the peace of God, peace of pure formless awareness, surpasses all understanding. And you sink into that. There's no need to try and understand it. No words are necessary anymore. Just open your mind to that experience. Allow the pure formless awareness of perfect love, the love of God that you truly are, to arise in your mind, in your awareness. So permeates throughout your mind, your body, your energy system. You're just resting in God, resting in this pure formless awareness of perfect love. Peace that surpasses all understanding arises. It's not a logical peace. It doesn't come from figuring things out in this world. It comes from letting it all go. Nowhere else to go. And this, nothing else to do. Just breathe. Let the breath breathe you, relax, be still and sink inwards to this deep stillness. A couple of minutes of deep contemplative silence. Just experience the love of God. Pure formless awareness of perfect love, we call it, for yourself, for the next. Minutes of deep silence. If you have any thoughts come up to disturb this peace, and just cover over this pure formless awareness and perfect love. So notice them and just breathe in. And then you're breathing in pure formless awareness of perfect love into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is in this light. And exhale. Stomach into the spine, expel the last remaining air out. And just rest in deep peace and stillness. And then a couple of minutes, experience the love of God for yourself. Allow it to show itself to you experientially. So you come to know God in your own experience. This is what knowledge is. And the next couple of minutes of deep silence, just surrender to that knowledge of who you really are. So just coming back gently from this deep state of awareness of the body and the breath, senses in the world. And on the count of 3, you're going to just open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Just pausing at the top of the inhale. Scan your mind, so noticing any extraneous thoughts, unwanted thoughts, emotions, body sensations related to those going on, and remind yourself that of today's lessons, that all I see holds nothing that I want. And there's no love, but God's or pure formless awareness of perfect love. It's the only love there is, the only love we want. It lies in this deep awareness. So exhale. And just release anything else. Blow it away with the breeze of your breath. To nothingness that it really is. It's going, gone. Lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. And just rest in this deep peace of perfect love. Your formless awareness of perfect love for a few moments. On the count of 2, notice the weight of your body pressing down into the chair. Feet touching the ground, noticing what you're feeling with your hands touching. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth, smell in your nose. Notice what you're hearing in the surrounding environment. Just noticing all these things from this very, very still, calm, and surrendered state. Without judgment. There's just pure formless awareness of perfect love, the love of God, which is unconditional love. This is the only love that is worthy of the name. Everything else is just, in fact, a denial of this love. That's the teaching. So just set the intention to stay rooted in this loving awareness for the rest of the evening, on into your weekend. I'm going to use today's lesson to remind you of this fact, to keep you rooted in that. So practice the lesson ideally every hour. Just remind yourself that there is no love but God's. It's only pure formless awareness of perfect love. And that the world I see holds nothing that I want. listen to a breath break when I've sent you 3 minutes, or follow the instructions in your Telegram or email message to top you up, and listen one more time this evening to a longer practice, to practice this. Longer meditations I sent you, or this particular one I'm recording now, to the Telegram group. So practice well and stay rooted in the love of God, no matter what seems to happen on the level of form. So it is said and so it is done. Now on the count of 3, open your eyes. So just taking a moment to look around, just observing objects around you. Without judgment. So you observe any object, a few moments, notice that it's just same awareness underlies it as you just had. So close your eyes, notice that awareness is still there. Open your eyes, look around, notice that awareness underlies everything that you see, everything that you perceive. Exactly the same awareness. It doesn't move, it doesn't change, it's unshakable. It's completely beyond form. So this is why the world I see holds nothing that I want, because this awareness holds everything that you want. Everything you truly want is there in this deeper awareness. So stay connected to that, and wish you good practicing and a peaceful evening. All right, that brings us to the end of the meditation and the first part of the session. So let's carry on with the text, if you like. Are you up for
Yeah, I can do a bit, but I will need a 10-minute just to put the tea out.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, at about 7:30 or something.
Maybe slightly earlier, about 1:15, just for 10 minutes. It's not a big dinner, it's just a snack. So it will be no more than 10 minutes.
No problem. Yeah, that gives me some time to make a call. So, all right. So let's dive into today's workbook lesson, which is called Conditions of Peace. So it's section 8 of chapter 17. It's 6 paragraphs. It's not a majorly big one.
Oh, that's good.
To get it done in an hour to 2 hours, I'd say.
Yeah.
All right. So conditions of peace. So if you want to read the original and then the alternative, the holy instant, paragraph 1.
So in both, yeah, the holy instant is nothing more than a special case or an extreme example of what every situation is meant to be. The now is nothing more than a special case or an extreme example of what every situation is meant to be.
I'm going to change that to the holy aware moment. Right? So in this moment, we come fully present. We're fully in the now. It's saying it's a special case, an extreme example of what every situation is meant to be. So, ideally, every moment should be a holy aware moment. That's where it's going. Okay, number 2.
The meaning, are we in the alternative or both? Yeah, doing both, aren't we?
Yeah, just do both until number 3, and then it's
right.
not much to talk.
The meaning, the meaning that the Holy Spirit's purpose has given it is also given to every situation. The meaning that the remembrance of perfect love's purpose has given it is also given to every situation. And then we'll go, yeah.
So what's he talking about there? Remembrance of perfect love's purpose given it a holy instant.
So whatever is happening in the level of form, as long as we're in the remembrance of perfect love, then that's our true purpose.
Well, given to every situation.
Yeah. It's what it's meant to be. So whatever it is that's happening, it's meant to be.
Yeah, we're meant to be in this, the holy aware moment is when we're in our true awareness. We're in pure formless awareness in that moment. No reference to the past, no reference to the future. We're just, fully in the now. That's why initially I translated as the now, but I think holy aware moment captures what holy instant means more. And the remembrance of perfect love gives it to every situation. So ideally we stay rooted in the now, and now in the now, every situation unfolds with our whole awareness, infusing it. And this is the miraculous flow state that is training our minds to be in every moment, moment by moment. I'm connected to my source. I'm in this deeper awareness, and this deeper awareness is holy now, and that's now, that awareness is what I'm using to function in this world. That's what he's pointing to, this higher awareness in action in the world, which is what the essence of what miracles are. Being miracle minded is you're rooted in this holy awareness. You're wholly aware, and everything now comes, you perceive everything from that whole awareness. So what is out of accord with whole awareness, what is egoic, you simply overlook, discard, let it go. And you appreciate, as you're talking about a sunset or something beautiful, you can appreciate those moments. But your whole awareness is infusing the moment with even more beauty, because you're in that deep inner state. So it's really the inner state that is the source of the beauty, and not the external world. You see that? It just may seem to enhance the inner state when you see a nice sunset or something, on the level of form we call beautiful. It might seem to enhance the inner state. It's, okay, it just a fusion of your inner state being whole and complete with a beautiful sunset can create quite an exquisite experience. You can really feel, very expanded and connected and blissful and joyful and grateful. And there's nothing wrong with that, provided you recognize that it's it's not the outside. You don't need the sunset.
That's caused that. Yeah. It's already there, but the sunset's
actually already there. It's just the fusion of that internal awareness with now, the sense perception of the sunset creates some kind of expanded experience. It's almost like taking it to another level. So it's Eckhart Tolle talks about joy as vibrantly alive peace, which I quite like that
Yes,
sort of
and that's what you'll get when you,
Hmm.
you know, looking at the sunset or a beautiful scenery
And it
or
just,
a
yeah,
nice
that
apple.
underlying piece just sort of comes alive a bit more. You go, oh, wow. Or you enter an even deeper piece. It's just like, oh, that I'm so deeply peaceful and tranquil in this moment. And, you know, I can really enjoy that experience. And then when, you know, the sunset goes, as it will, you know, sunsets come and goes, we know that everything fades, the peace remains. Not, you know, in any way, oh, it's a shame the sunset's gone, now it's dark. No, it's like, I'm still fine. There was no attachment to the form of it. It was just appreciate the moment, but then let it go, you know, because it
Yes.
comes and goes. That's really the art of it, isn't it? The art of
And
letting
like,
go. Okay, so appreciate the moment, but without attachment. And then it comes and it goes, and then there's another moment and another moment, and each moment I'm rooted in my true awareness. So I'm not ever losing that.
yeah.
But there will be vacillations and fluctuations moment to moment, depending on what situation we're in, where we are. You know, that's inevitable in the human experience. But you're coming from a stable state of peace. So those fluctuations are not you know, very big, and they don't take you out of that peace. It's more like a little, you know, ripple on the
The sea,
on the
on the ocean.
surface. Yeah, a little wave, a little ripple. Yeah, it's nice. You know, it's a little fluctuation, but it's nothing dramatic. It's not like, whoa, suddenly I'm way out of there and I'm being ripped around in a storm and, you know, turbulated by my ego. No, I remain in that you know, calm, stable state. That's the idea. Of course, the ego will come and try and knock you off. A storm, apparent justification for a storm might come, and then, you know, the art of it is, no, just remain rooted in this awareness. Just let it go and stay in this awareness, no matter what. Foundational peace. I might not be in bliss or ecstatic joy, but I have this foundational peace goes with me wherever I go. That's one of the early lessons in the course workbook is God goes with me wherever I go. So this foundational peace goes with me wherever I go. All right, carry on. Number 3 calls forth just the same suspension of faithlessness.
I'll just go into the alternative. Yeah. It
You do
calls
that.
forth. It calls forth just the same suspension of faithlessness, withheld and left unused, that faith might answer to the call of truth.
What need is so.
It's a long one, isn't it? So what does that mean? It calls forth justice.
Faith might answer to the call of truth. Well, so what he means is so that faith can answer to the call of truth. And you must suspend your faithlessness. So the thought system of the ego that is faithless to the truth must be suspended. You don't use, withheld and left unused, so that faith can answer to the call of truth, so that you can now have faith in the truth, and you can experience the truth moment by moment. Okay, carry on. The holy aware moment.
The now is the shining moment, is the shining example. Oh, sorry, as I've jumped. The holy aware moment is the shining example, the clear and unequivocal demonstration of the meaning of every relationship and every situation seen as a whole.
So it's this kind of whole awareness that comes into every relationship every situation, remember, every situation involves relationship, and those are perceived as a whole, not from a fragmented point of view.
Yeah.
Okay, continue. Faith is accepted.
Faith has accepted every true aspect of this situation, and faithlessness has not excluded anything that is true. It is a situation of perfect peace simply because you have let it be what it truly is.
Yeah, that's what I have. Let me personalize it. And we could personalize this, perceived as a whole. So
Mhm.
when I'm wholly aware, I'm wholly aware in the moment, faith is accepted every true aspect of the situation. And faithlessness has not excluded anything that is true. Yeah, carry on.
It is a situation of perfect peace simply because I have let it be what it truly is. Yeah, well, I've already read that.
Yeah, so in the now, in this wholly aware moment, I let it be what it truly is. In other words, the underlying true awareness permeates it. What the situation is really is, it's always pure formless awareness. That's the truth, the ground of being in every situation, in every relationship, isn't it? So I let it be what it is, and I let that deeper awareness, that truth shine through. And then every moment becomes holy. I'm holy. I'm wholly aware. Wholeness, holy and whole come from the same root word. I'm whole in my perception. I'm not fragmented. And he's saying the result is perfect peace. Okay, you want to summarize that in your own words?
Yeah, it's that wholly aware moment. If you just stay rooted in that, no matter what's happening on the level of form, your peace and your true self is always there. It's perfect peace. And just allow it to be, to be what it truly is.
Yeah, so being in the now, being wholly aware in the moment is how you stay connected to pure formless awareness of perfect love, and how it enters into your awareness and your experience in this world. That's why the now is absolutely critical. Cannot happen in the past or the future, because those are mental ideas. There's no reality there. Just false ideas that cover over that whole awareness. So now, moment by moment, you have the whole awareness. You perceive things, but not from the basis of your conditioning in the past or expectations of the future. And the situation is as it really is, because you're seeing it from the whole perspective. And there's a beauty that infuses then every situation and every relationship that comes from your whole awareness in the now. Does that make sense?
Yes. Perfectly. Yeah.
All right. You want to do one more paragraph and then take your break? It's a short one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. This simple courtesy is all the remembrance of perfect love asks of you. Let truth be what it is.
Awesome. Remember, we're personalizing it.
Oh, me,
So
yes.
try and
The
do
simple courtesy is all the remembrance of perfect love asks of me. Yeah. Let truth be what it is. I do not intrude.
Truth.
I let
Truth.
truth be what it is. I do not intrude upon it. I will not intrude upon it. I do not attack.
I will not intrude upon it, attack it, and
attack it and interrupt its coming. Let it encompass every situation and bring me peace.
yeah. So I let it encompass every situation.
I let it encompass every situation and bring me peace.
And that's a nice word, isn't it? Encompass. It's like sort of all encompassing. This permeates. That's another nice word. Permeates into every situation. So this is the ground of, because it's foundational awareness, it's the ground of experience. So everything is now experienced from that foundation, you see. So it encompasses everything. It's the underlying ground of being, which is peaceful and calm and always happy. You know, that ground of being connects me with my source. So no matter what's seemingly happening in this crazy world, I remain rooted in that ground of being, in the now, flowing forward moment by moment. And, you know, that's my task, is to stay rooted in that and not go time traveling in my mind, not go into the past and the future, not get distracted, not allow all kinds of distracted, extraneous thoughts to come in. I just stay in that moment, right? And so in my moment by moment, then life's changing all the time. So different stimuli come in, different people, places, circumstances, and events in time and space are unfolding. But the stable thing in my life is I'm in this whole awareness in the now. I'm rooted in that, and that never changes. So that gives me the stability and the security that I'm looking for. Because I won't find it in the fluctuating images of this world. There's no stability there. But the now and my awareness of the now is the only stable thing in this world, because it connects us with eternity. So it is the pathway or the portal into eternity. So if we look at the timeline of consciousness, see, in the moment, the holy instant is this moment at the tip of the arrow. You see that down arrow, blue arrow. It's the absolute tip of that. In the instant, in the moment, that point is our point of connection into spirit and into ultimate source, because that takes us all the way back into source. And we can only do that in the now. The ego interprets everything and says, right, now you're going to go jumping around the timeline. So yeah, this is happening now. Oh, but you know, this is terrible because something might happen in future. So it jumps into the future, or it amps up that emotion through referencing the past. And goes, oh yeah, what's happened in the past, so this is more of the same. And so it loses connection. It can't access that wholly aware moment which is then the portal to source. It covers it over. You go time traveling, you get rooted, seemingly being a special identity on the timeline, with no access then to the transcendent dimension that comes through now. Okay. And number 5.
Not even faith is asked of me, for truth asks nothing. Just be 2 minutes. Yes. Yeah, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Is it all right?
Yes.
Yeah, you want to just finish this paragraph, right?
Yeah. I let it enter, and it will call forth and secure for me the faith I need for peace. But I do not oppose it. I will not oppose it, for it cannot come against my opposition.
So when I let it enter, pour forth and secure for me the faith I need for peace. I will oppose it, for it cannot come against my opposition. So if I deny it, I block it out, then it can't come. So there's a surrender, there's a letting go, an allowing, saying, okay, show me, show me the truth, moment by moment, in this whole awareness that I have of the moment. When I'm clear and I'm calm and I'm fully present, that's the truth. And then I stay rooted in that, and whatever experiences happen within that framework. So the truth infuses all of my perceptions. So now I'm inside out rather than outside in. My perceptions are not being dominated by the external world. But I must not oppose it. I must allow it in, I must accept it, embrace it, and let go of what opposes it, which is the ego's idea that something outside of you can affect your mental and emotional state. You let that go as those ideas show up, which they will. You go, no, that's not the truth. I stay rooted in my whole awareness right now. I choose to stay there. Okay, so what's he saying in summary of number 2?
Well, just to stay completely rooted in the remembrance of perfect love, no matter what the external is showing us. And the truth just asks nothing.
Yeah.
When I let it enter, it will give me all the peace and faith that truly is there. But we, must not oppose it and just allow the truth.
Allow the truth in moment by moment. See, it's the living truth. He's saying it's not some theoretical abstract, hard to experience truth. It's the living truth, moment by moment. Because I'm in this awareness. I'm clear, I'm calm, I'm peaceful, but I'm present. Okay, so I'm wholly aware. And something comes in, but it comes into that whole awareness. So I don't get knocked out by it. I'm just like, it encompasses everything that I'm perceiving. So even if something is, challenging, difficult, I remain rooted in that whole awareness. Okay, I'm not going to depart from that. I'm going to stay in this whole awareness, no matter what. And so I must then let go of the faithlessness that says, well, have faith that the sense perception that I'm seeing is real, and that this has the power to negatively affect me.
Yeah.
Cause any kind of negative thought or emotion. You deny that and you stay rooted in this awareness. Very simple, but very profound.
Mm.
And I must not oppose it. If I choose faithlessness and I want to go into the ego, then I'm opposing the truth. So whenever I attach my mind to externals and I give that the power to affect me, I'm opposing it. It doesn't seem like it, but I'm actually opposing the truth through that process.
Mm.
And then it cannot come because I've denied it. It comes only when I open my mind to it and I allow it to come. He's saying just let it come and everything will be given to you. This awareness will give you the faith. The more you're in this awareness, the more well, this feels good. So why wouldn't I want to stay here? It's a happy place to be. And then it gives you the faith in the truth because you're experiencing it. You're going, oh, this is powerful stuff. This is the source of my happiness, my security. I'm feeling much better. So yes, I have, and I'll start to have faith in this. And I have less and less faith in the ego. Okay, so any other thoughts on that? Number 2?
No, that's very clear. Very clear, thank you.
Yeah, okay. So you want to take your break now, have your dinner, supper.
Yeah, yeah. See you in about what, 7:30?
Yeah, so it's now 25 past. So do you want to?
Oh, I didn't realize it was that time. In
25
about what?
past.
About 15 minutes? Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
20 to
See
8.
you then.
Yeah. All right.
See you.
Thanks.
Right. See you later.
Okay. All right. Are you back, Elaine?
Yep, I've just finished now. Is that you all right, Dave? Yep, yep.
Shall we resume?
Yep, yeah.
All right. So wait. Paragraph 3, I think.
Yes, paragraph 3.
So just read it in the just the Holy Spirit's going to translate into remembrance of perfect love. So otherwise, read it in the alternative.
I'll wear up your bed shortly.
Okay.
Right?
Yep. Right. Would I not want to enter the now in every situation?
A moment. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. For such is the gift of faith, freely given, wherever faithlessness is laid aside, unused. And then the power of the remembrance of perfect love's purpose is free to use instead. Free for me to use instead.
Yeah. And
Just leave it as that, yeah.
the remembrance of perfect love's purpose. Then we should capitalize power.
The power instantly transforms all situations into one sure and continuous means for establishing its purpose and demonstrating its reality.
Okay. So what's he saying there?
Well, again, having faith in that wholly aware moment in every situation. And, you know, this is the gift of faith. Really, bless you.
Thank you.
Freely given whenever faith. So if you can put this faithlessness to one side and unused, then you can allow the power of this remembrance of perfect love to step in and use that instead.
Yeah, this power.
The power instantly transforms all situations into one sure and continuous means for establishing its purpose and demonstrating its reality. What has been demonstrated has called for faith and has been given it. Now it becomes a fact from which faith can no longer be withheld. The strain of refusing faith to truth is enormous and far greater than you realize. But to answer truth with faith entails no strain at all.
Yeah, so I realize. Has been demonstrated, is called for faith and has been given it. What does he mean by has been given it? Being demonstrated. Has called for faith and has been,
given
maybe it means that faith has been given to it, maybe.
to the
Has been demonstrated, is called for faith, has been given faith. I think that's the
yeah
yet
that's
faith has been given faith.
yeah.
And that becomes a fact from which faith can no longer be withheld. Refusing faith to truth is enormous and far greater than I realize. To answer truth with faith entails no strain at all. Yeah, so what's he saying here?
Again, back to, you know, being in that holy moment in every situation is what's needed to get the gift of faith freely from, well, putting our faithlessness to one side, unused, and just allow this holy aware moment to come free instead, to come through instead. And the power will instantly transform all situations if we allow ourselves to just put faithlessness to one side.
Yeah.
And it then becomes a fact.
The more we do it, the more we see its effects, the more evident it becomes that this is the truth. This is the only way. And refusing faith to truth is enormous, far greater than I realized. So that strain, you know, that's the source of all of the stressing and straining that we experience in this world. When you're out of the now, when you're not in truth, when you're not in the flow, you know, the strain is enormous. And this is why people get they get stressed out, they age, they get sick, because they live in this way that's resisting the truth. Enormous strain.
Yeah.
Wants the truth with faith entails no strain at all. So when you really enter the flow and you really let go, the whole point is it's effortless. There's no strain because you're in your natural state. And things flow in that natural state. And there's no sense of stressing and straining and striving anymore. It's just a natural flowing awareness runs through your whole life. You know, it's the river of awareness running through your whole life, bringing the life-giving water of spirit into, or pure awareness, into every situation. And he's saying it will be demonstrated. You know, what has been demonstrated has called for faith and has been given faith. So the power of the now has been demonstrated over and over in your life. You've seen it. He's asking us to have faith in that and let go of faith in anything else. Okay. So any other thoughts on number 3?
No, that's very clear.
Good. Of course, you know, this text is actually very clear if you break it down and you just logical. It's not rocket science what he's saying. So I'm glad you're getting that clarity, because it's
Yes.
actually meant to be clear. I think the language and the length of it just obscures that for a lot of people, and they find it difficult. I think if
Yes.
you break it down like this, so section by section, paragraph by paragraph, sentence by sentence, you read it, you translate it, then it starts to make sense. Well, it's not what he's saying isn't. It's not anything very complicated. Actually, just a simple truth. Okay, so happy to move to number 4 then.
Yes. To me, who have acknowledged the call of my awakener,
It will be has, have.
the strain of not responding to its call seems to be greater than before. This is not so. Before, the strain was there, but I attributed it to something else, believing that the something else produced it. This was never true. For what the something else produced was sorrow and depression, sickness and pain, limited awareness and dim imaginings of terror, cold fantasies of fear, and fiery dreams of victimhood. And it was nothing but the intolerable strain of refusing to give faith to truth and see its evident reality.
So it's giving us call these sorts of passages stick passages. It's like sorrow, depression, sickness, pain, limited awareness, and dim imaginings of terror. Limited awareness and imaginings of terror. Keep the dim. Old fantasies of fear. Fiery dreams of victimhood and suffering. And it was nothing else but nothing but intolerable strain. And it was only, shall we say, only the intolerable strain of refusing to give faith to truth, refusing to have faith. In truth, and perceive its evident reality. All this is only the intolerable strain of refusing to have faith in truth and perceive its evident reality. Okay, so what's he saying here, number 4?
Yeah, well, it's acknowledging the call from the awakener, and the strain not to respond to this call just gets greater and greater than before. This is not so. No, lady. The strain's always been there, in other words, so it's just no different. But we're assuming it's something else that's bringing this on, and believing that it's that's caused it, bringing us, all the sorrow, sickness, pain, all the terror and all the horrible things that go with it, when it's really quite simple to have faith in the truth and perceive and see its evident reality.
Yeah, all of the difficulties we experience are a result of the strain of refusing to have faith in truth. So we just need to let go, find the holy aware moment, trust that presence that's operating in the now to guide us. And then there's no strain. The now is actually a very comfortable, easy place to be in when you accept it. Talking about the something else produced it. This was never true for what the something else produced. Strain was always there, but that strain, something else, the ego, in other words, produced was all the misery and pain I've ever experienced. And that's really just the result of resistance to the truth. So he's telling us very clearly the price of resistance to the truth, and the only sensible thing is to let go. Surrender to the truth moment by moment and perceive its evident reality moment by moment. Okay. Happy to move to number 5. Elaine, still there? Okay, Elaine, still there? You're muted, just so you know.
Sorry, yes, I'm talking away and thinking that I'm unmuted. I do apologize. Yeah, right. Such was the crucifixion of the extension of perfect love. Its faithlessness did this to it.
Let's personalize this.
Oh, yeah.
The extension of perfect love is the Son of God. My faithlessness. I think we should say my lack of faith, just a bit less clumsy.
Yeah.
My lack of
Yeah.
faith. My lack of faith did this to me.
Carefully before I let myself use lack of faith against it. That's faithfulness against it.
So you keep faithlessness there.
Yeah.
Before I let myself.
For it has arisen in my awareness, and I have accepted the cause of its awakening as my own. Of its awakening as my own.
Was of my awakening, yeah. Cause of his awakening, for he has risen. Right. It has arisen in my awareness. So I've translated for he has risen.
As my own, for it has arisen in my
I think
awareness.
every part of myself use my faithlessness against it, extension of perfect love. It has arisen in my awareness. And I've accepted the cause of his awakening as yours, right? Cause of its awakening as my own. So we're talking about the extensions, the whole sonship.
Yeah.
Extension as awakening, cause of its awakening as my own. And so as the sonship awakens, so I awaken. I've accepted that as my own. Number 5.
Yeah. And I have assumed my part in its awakening, and I am now fully responsible for it, to it. I do not fail. I will not fail it now, for I should realize by now what my lack of faith in it must mean to me. Its awakening is my only purpose. I perceive only this purpose in every situation, and every situation will be a means for bringing only this purpose into my experience.
Awakening is my only purpose. Awakening. And we should keep that as small. Only this purpose into my experience, okay? What's he saying here in summary?
Well, back to our faithfulness or lack of faith. You know, once we gain our faith, and this is our awakening, and his salvation is our only purpose. And we have to see this in every situation, so that this will bring on our true form as to, you know, the perfect love and true self and pure formless awareness. Yeah. So it's again back to faith, isn't it? Our lack of faith preventing us from seeing the real truth. And we have to take full responsibility for this awakening.
Mm.
And it's, and we can't fail if we just have faith.
Mm.
And it's awakening is our only purpose in this life.
Mm. Every situation will be a means for bringing only this purpose into my experience. See only this in every situation. We are means for bringing only this. So I see that it's all about my awakening to this presence that's in my deeper mind, which I can access in the moment, in the wholly aware moment. Only this purpose is true. Only this purpose is real. Every situation is there for that purpose, especially when it seems not to be. When you're getting triggered and you want to go into the ego story, then that's when you have to have faith. Remember that only this purpose is true. And hold to that purpose no matter what. Okay, anything else to add there?
Perfectly clear. It's really down to us. We can, it's having that faith, take a leap of faith, and that's it. Instead of the constant, too much of the other, lack of faith. Just jump in, dive in, take a leap of faith.
Yeah, that's what he's asking us for. So, and then you see your faith being rewarded moment by moment in your daily experience. You will experience more peace, more love, more joy, and the experience tells you that you're on the right track.
Oops, and the triggers are just there to wake us up, really, aren't they? Just to remind us of our shadow, that what needs to come up.
Yeah, what needs to still be let go of in your belief system. That's what
It's still there, yes.
So,
yeah.
Those
ones that are still the things that we all need to work on, don't we? Those,
well,
more
those are the
difficult.
blocks.
Yeah, the main blocks, the special relationships, money, jobs, all of those are the big triggers, aren't they?
Yeah, and those blocks are what your self-concept are made up of. The separate self is made up of those blocks.
Yeah.
So the way to undo the self-concept is to look at those blocks, the negative thoughts and emotions, and realize that they're not true. Right? They're not real. You release them, and you find the base level. You find this foundational peace, which puts you back in the now, in the moment. The blocks are no longer covering that over, and pure formless awareness of perfect love is once again your awareness. And you carry that with you into the world. So it's very simple, but the blocks are everywhere. Those blocks seem to be
there's no order. But of course, there's no order of difficulty. It doesn't matter whether it's a special relationship or just something, some maybe daft thing somebody said. I suppose they're all the same. They're all equal to your disturbance of mind, isn't it? Yeah, your peace of mind, I should say.
You see, you're starting to get the teaching. You're saying, well, it's all the same. It's all just a block. It's either a block or it's pure formless awareness of perfect love.
Yeah. There's no difference in there. Yeah.
If it's a block, it doesn't matter what that block is, how, what's triggered it, how it seems to have arisen in this world. It's all the same. It's just a covering over pure formless awareness, and that's its purpose. It's being used to just cover that awareness over. And so then there's no order of difficulty in miracles, because there's no order of difficulty in letting go of the block. You can let go of any block. It doesn't matter what seemingly caused it, and how big the trigger seems to be, and how big the block seems to be. It's all the same. That's why there's no order of difficulty in miracles, because because the blocks are untrue, you can let go of any of them. There's no order of difficulty doing that in reality. Some of them just feel harder to let go of than others. That's our own.
More, they're more charged. There's some special
we've got more emotional investment in them. There's more. They're a bigger block because we're more attached to them.
Yes, yeah.
Harder to let go, because that block now becomes a bigger part of our self-concept. So we feel like we're losing a part of ourselves when we let it go. That's why it's hard to really let go, because we feel like we're letting go of ourselves. And that feels like death for the ego, but actually it's life, because you're letting go of the false self that's covering over the pure formless awareness of perfect love, which is the source of all life. That's just being covered over and is waiting to be revealed. Okay. Happy to move on to number 6, last one.
Yeah. When I accepted truth as the goal for my relationship, I became a giver of peace as surely as my source gave peace to me. For the goal of peace, as my source gave peace to me.
Let's say gives peace to me, because it's actually present tense, no past.
For the goal of peace cannot be accepted apart from its conditions, and I had faith in it, for no one accepts what he does not believe is real.
Let's just say no one accepts what they do not believe is real.
My purpose has not changed and will not change, for I accepted what I can never change.
Just pause there. I'm just going to go and fix it. So the goal of peace cannot be accepted apart from its conditions. The goal of peace cannot be accepted apart from its cause, shall we say? Surely as my source. I think that's more powerful from its cause.
Yeah.
Goal of peace cannot be accepted apart from its cause, and I must have had faith in it. For no one accepts what they do not believe is real.
My purpose has not changed and will not change, for I accepted what can never change. And nothing that it needs to be forever changeless can I withhold from it now.
Just shift that around. So, and I can.
And I cannot do nothing.
Withhold anything. I cannot withhold anything that it needs to be forever changeless from it now.
My release is certain.
Yeah.
Give as I have received. I give as I have received, and demonstrate that I have risen far beyond any situation that could hold me back and keep me separate from it, whose call you answered.
Yeah. From this, it is the changeless. If it's not changed, will not change. If I accepted what can never change, should be capitalized. Accepted what can never change, and I cannot withhold anything that it needs. Be forever changeless from it now. My release is certain. Give as I received, I demonstrate that I've risen far beyond any situation that could hold me back, keep me separate. From it whose call I answered, from perfect love's call. Perfect love's call. Okay, you want to read that from the top? Let's make sure we're good.
Yeah. When I accepted truth as the goal for my relationship, I became a giver of peace as surely as my source gives peace to me. For the goal of peace cannot be accepted apart from its cause, and I must have faith. I must have had faith in it, for no one accepts what they do not believe is real. My purpose has not changed and will not change, for I accepted what can never change, and I cannot withhold anything that it needs to be forever changeless from it now. My release is certain. I give as I have received, and demonstrate that I have risen far beyond any situation that could hold me back and keep me separate from perfect love's call that I have answered.
Yeah. So what's he saying there? Summary?
But when we accept the truth of as the goal for our relationships, you then become the giver of peace as the source gives peace to me, so I extend it out. And of course, the goal of peace cannot be accepted apart from its cause. So I must have had faith in it. So it's not going to happen if you don't believe it's real. So, you know, this is where we have to accept what can never change, which is this pure formless awareness. It's always there, and we cannot withhold anything. It's all there now, and the release is certain. And, I give as I receive. So just extending. So we have to, it'll rises above any situation that could hold us back. So back and keep us back in the separate self from our real call for perfect love will have been answered.
Yeah, which is good news indeed.
Yeah.
So shall we look at the personalized executive summary, key message of this section?
Yeah. Shall I read it?
Yeah, please.
The key message of this section is that I must keep my awareness in the now to allow truth to direct my thoughts, words, and actions. If my awareness is only in the now, there will be no strain, and I won't even need to have faith in truth, because my experience of truth will simply be there. All sense of strain, pain, and suffering I've ever experienced is really a result of my resistance to accepting the truth. Now I accept the one unchanging truth of perfect love as my only purpose and goal in life. And in so doing, I know I will experience genuine peace and give peace to everyone with whom I am in relationship.
Genuine peace and give peace to everyone. That. Okay, so nice summary there, I think. Kind of captured quite well.
Yes.
To close off the session, would you like to do a little 10-minute meditation on the
Yeah.
summary?
Yes. Yeah.
Just making yourself comfortable. Okay, so just sitting comfortably in your favorite meditation posture. So feet shoulder width apart, back straight, cup your hands in your lap. Close your eyes and start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Just breathing in. Just noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of the inhale. Bench the sphincter muscle to lock the energy in. Draw the energy up the spine into your heart center. You can put one hand on your heart to connect with your heart center. Draw the energy up into the crown of your head. Pause at the top of the inhale. Just check in, scan your mind. Notice any resistance to this meditation, to the process, to the now, and just be willing to let it go. So you exhale and just blow it all away. The breeze of your breath to the nothingness that it really is. It's going, gone. From the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. Just rest here in this still, calm, peaceful, empty state. And in the state as an empty vessel, you can just allow the words from this summary of the key message of today's text reading to come into your mind. Just open your mind to it, breathing in and out through your nose. So set the breath in motion in a nice, calm, peaceful rhythm. You just focus on the breath, and you allow the words to drop into the spacious awareness of the breaths created in your mind. And just breathe in tandem with me speaking and you speaking. So you're going to breathe in as I speak, and then exhale through the nose as you speak, and you repeat the words that I'm going to say as affirmations of the truth. So breathing in, the key message of this section is that I must keep my awareness in the now. So repeat that as you exhale. I must keep my awareness in the now. Breathing in again. To allow truth to direct my thoughts, words, and actions. And repeat those words as you exhale, not through your nose. Breathing in again through the nostrils. Full maximal inhale breath. My awareness is only in the now. Exhale as you repeat those words. Breathing in again. There will be no strain. I won't even need to have faith in truth. Exhale as you repeat those words. There will be no strain. I won't even need to have faith in truth, because my experience of truth will simply be there. So breathe in. All sense of strain, pain, and suffering I've ever experienced. Exhale. Repeat those words. All sense of pain, strain, and suffering I've ever experienced is really a result of my resistance to accepting the truth. Exhale and repeat those words. All a result of my resistance to accepting the truth. Breathe in again. Now I accept the one unchanging truth, perfect love. Say that. Put your hand on your heart. Now I accept the one unchanging truth of perfect love. That's my only purpose and goal in life. And in so doing, I know I will experience genuine peace. And give peace to everyone. And so it is. Amen. That's what amen means. So be it, or so it is. So it is. And feel the certainty and the conviction of these words, the power that they have. Simple change of mind that connects you with the eternal truth. And just rest in this peace that this lesson points you to for a couple of minutes of deep silence. There's nowhere to go, nothing else to do. Absolutely nothing else to think about. Just rest in the peace and called the peace of God that surpasses all understanding. So you just rest in this peaceful state. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just breathe, relax, be still, and rest in the stillness. Rest in God. When thoughts come up to seemingly disturb this peace, let's practice today's lesson one more time. Remind yourself there is no love but God's. And pure formless awareness of perfect love. And the world I see holds nothing that I want. And you exhale and you just let go and release the nothingness that they really are. All these false beliefs. Going, gone. And rest in the deep peace of truth. Accept the truth, you rest in peace. Sink into peace deeper and deeper with each breath, into this deep, still, calm, quiet place of peace in your mind. And just allow that to envelop you completely. For the next minute or two of deep silence. So just coming back gently to awareness of the body and the breath, senses in the world. And on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in. There's the stomach rise and the chest rise and air flowing into the nostrils. Maximal inhale breath, clench the sphincter muscle. Pause at the top of the inhale, scan your mind. Notice thoughts, emotions, and your body sensations. Breathe into all of it, and you're just going to let it go and release it. So exhale, blow it all out, breathe of your breath. And it all go. And nothingness that it really is. And extend this deeper awareness. A few moments, deep peace permeating every part of your mind. Stay rooted in this deep peace. That stay in your awareness for the rest of the evening on into tomorrow. So it is said, so it is done. Practice today's lesson to help you do that. Ideally every hour, just listen to the breath break I've sent you, or follow the instructions I've given you. Maybe one more time before bed, make sure you do a longer practice period. And it will keep you in the peace that surpasses all understanding. Peace of God that surpasses all understanding, it's been called. So it's what I wish for you. And so it is. So, well, open your eyes. Just take a moment to look around. Notice that whatever you're looking at, there's this underlying peace. This peace envelops, encompasses, or infuses everything that you look at. So look at any object randomly. Notice the peace is still there. Another object, same peace. Look at half a dozen objects for a second or two each. And notice that same peace permeating everything. It's the peace that underlies everything, that comes from the ground of being, that underlies everything. And so in this peace, you remain rooted in the now, in your true awareness, and in the flow of life. So that's what I wish for you for the rest of the evening. A very peaceful, flowing evening. And a deep sleep, deep, peaceful sleep. And I'll see you again tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the end of the session. Thank you, Elaine.
Yeah, thank you. Another good one.
Yeah, always good. Thanks for joining,
Yeah.
because it doesn't happen on my own. So we'll see you tomorrow, I hope. Are you going to join tomorrow? What?
I'll try, but I'm actually going to be up the north
Oh, yeah, okay.
tomorrow doing a pet sitting, so I'm not sure what time were you looking at.
Would evening? Well, up to you. I can run it in the evening if you like, or during
It'd
the
have to be
day.
the evening, yeah, because during the day I'm going to be traveling. Yeah.
Okay. So we do 5 o'clock. 5
Oh,
p.m.
yeah. Well, yes, I think that even if it is only just for a short period, it'd probably not be the whole whatever, but I can pop in.
Okay. Well, join us if you can.
Yeah, that's great.
5 p.m. tomorrow. All right.
Okay, thanks very much.
All right.
Okay.
Namaste.
Good night. Namaste.
Okay, so thanks to Elaine for joining, and hope you enjoyed that. Join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. UK time, at 6 p.m. South African time for the next session. If you are not a member, then by all means subscribe to the channel, and feel free to join us on Sunday for our next masterclass. I'll put the link in below this video. You can join us to learn how you can join these live sessions with us. Hope to catch you on the inside soon. Namaste. Which means the peace in me acknowledges and honors that same peace in you.